If you're over 50 and you're thinking of downsizing or selling your home, well, the way you bought your home is going to be very different from the way you sell your home. Lloyds Bank, which is the largest mortgage broker here in the UK, has dropped what it calls a tech bombshell. In that, they're revolutionizing how we buy and sell homes here in the UK because they're going to put all of the transactions on the blockchain, and they're going to combine that with artificial intelligence to speed up the home buying and selling process. So, in today's show, I'm going to spell out what all of that means to you. So, as I mentioned, this week, just a couple of days ago, Lloyds Bank have dropped this news, and its CEO has actually compared it to when the smartphone arrived in about 2007, 8 ish, that kind of era. And with this development, it really is going to shake up the financial services market together with buying and selling. So, what does this mean? What is a blockchain, you might be thinking? A blockchain is a decentralized ledger, which means that you and I can transact directly with each other. And what it does is it cuts out the middleman or woman. So, it removes the third party interface between the buyer and seller. Together with, once the transaction has been documented in something called a smart contract, it is placed on the blockchain. And one of the key things that it gives is such a great level of security because it removes the ability for fraud. So let's say that you're making a deposit. Lloyds Bank will call this a tokenized deposit, which gets placed on the blockchain and it is backed by the bank and not cryptocurrency. So it's a way to give you some security. And when they blend in artificial intelligence, what this is going to do is to automate the whole buying and selling process. So in the era that we're in, there's people, there's pens, there's paperwork, and then there's a lot of patience. With artificial intelligence, what it's going to do is to pull together all the legal documents. It's going to remove in more straightforward transaction the need for a solicitor, so a human in the loop. So what can you do to prepare for this? Start to document and scan your documents because the transaction is going to take place in a digital format. So pull together your title deed, pull together your pensions and your NI and any of the important documents, conveyancing, information that is critical to the buying and selling process. Because the artificial intelligence that's built within the software that they're pulling together will automate it. So, what this does, it increases the speed of the transaction. But you might be somebody who's worried about if all of your personal information is documented in a digital environment, what happens if there's a cyber attack? Well, that is one of the possibilities. So, if you're somebody who's fearful of data breaches or you've got some concerns about that, together with the fact that this new process will remove the levels or the amounts of human interaction. So if you've got any anxieties and you would like the solicitor to allay any of your fears, well, the new direction that Lloyds Bank is taken is going to remove that. So on the one hand, there is efficiency, there is speed. So if you're somebody who is wanting to sell up and move abroad and spend your third act abroad enjoying life, or you're somebody who is selling up because you're moving into a care home, or you're somebody who's downsizing, then the new automated AI blockchain system that Lloyds Bank is bringing in, and it will actually come into fuller effect in 2027. Uh, at the moment, they are piloting this new system. So, what can you do to begin to future proof yourself against all of this? The bank, Lloyds, and others, they're going to begin to favor digital savvy customers. So, if you're somebody who is reticent about using apps, banking apps, you don't know how to read your statement online, you don't know how to transfer information, these are the types of skills and things you need to practice if you are somebody who is looking to sell your home in the next, 3 to 5 years, for example. as I say, you put together, you start to document and scan the key documents that are going to be needed for the transaction. What else can you do? Start to upskill yourself. Hence, the reason why this whole platform, my channel, exists is to bring you information that's going to help you future proof your digital life. And that's all aspects of your life. It's not only the fact if you're a solopreneur and you want to know the latest AI app, but technology is intersecting with every part of our lives. And this big announcement that Lloyds Bank has made is going to be huge. If you're somebody who wants to sell their home in the next year to 18 months, 2 years, then the old way of buying and selling your home is still going to apply. But, between that 3 to 5 year mark, we're going to be in the new generation of buying and selling homes, which means that the transaction will take place, as I mentioned, on a smart contract, which is then placed on the blockchain. So if you're nervous, now is the time to upskill yourself. And if you're digitally conversant, you're okay with it. This is a new development that is going to be sweeping the financial services sector, and particularly, or let's not just say particularly, it's starting off with the buying and selling of homes. So, where are you in this process? Are you somebody who is risk averse and you're uncertain? Then start practicing using these different apps. Become conversant with reading the statements online, because otherwise what will happen is that banks and other providers of services will continue to treat you like a legacy customer. And if you're treated like a legacy customer, what can happen is that you become deprioritized, because banks and other services who are being driven by technology are going to be relating to those who are tech savvy. They are already conversant, they're already familiar with this is where this particular sector is going. And so they're in step, they're in flow, and they understand the idea of automated processes as well as improvements in speed of transaction. So, where are you? Are you somebody who's thinking of buying and selling a property, downsizing, moving abroad? Put your comments in the comment box. I'd love to hear where you are in that whole process. And if you would like more of this type of translation, as you know, I'm a tech translator for the mature adult. I am a pro aging baby boomer. And when I was in my mid 50s, I retrained, took the self-taught route to retrain as a software engineer. So I'm somebody who is developed her tech chops in her 50s. I'm now 62. So I'd love to hear where you are in the buying and the selling process. And if you want more of this type of lifestyle tech translation, stay well, and I'll see you again on the next show. Bye.